Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Taylor and I am going to be sharing with you just my personal experience and what I've learned on how to remain patient when times get trying and tough and discouraging as a mom. So if you follow my channel and you saw my little quick update on Tuesday a couple days ago, you saw that I was really struggling and having just a really hard time with Denver not feeling well, with teething, with her not sleeping. And just a little bit of a backstory, Denver was born an amazing sleeper. She was sleeping like 4 to 5 hours at night the day she came home from the hospital. And it was always very easy for me to get her to sleep, get her to sleep through the night. I never had to do any type of sleep training, and she just did it naturally. It was very easy. We did bedtime routine and bam, she was out like no problem. And the 4-month regression kind of hit. Her sleeping took a turn and she was waking up a lot. She kind of did a little bit better, and not back to like what she used to do, but much better. And I mean, great for a lot of moms. She was sleeping, she would start off by sleeping like 12 hours and then she'd move to sleeping 8 hours, which was great. And then the 6-month regression hit, and then it was like she was waking up 15-20 times a night. And it was really hard. And she is almost 8 months old now. We've had like this up and down of her sleeping 8 hours and then 11 hours and then, oh, only waking up twice but not needing to nurse, and just doing all of these weird things. But consistently the past couple weeks, she's not been sleeping long stretches at all. She's been waking up the 15 to 20 times a night. She did just learn how to crawl. She is sitting up. She's starting to pull herself up, and she's getting into all of these huge developmental milestones that she's practicing in her sleep, and it's making it a little bit difficult and a little bit trying to have her like sleep continuously through the night. So I was struggling personally because I was noticing that and focusing more on the fact that she is not sleeping anymore, that well, she used to do it. She used to sleep through the night. There must be something wrong. There must be something that I'm doing wrong. And, you know, this was her old schedule. This is what I'm trying to stick her to and keep her doing this thing that we've always done because it's worked. Well, what I have personally learned is that that is not working anymore. So I'm just going to talk to you today. This is not a, I know what I'm doing and here's what you need to be doing. This is more of a, this is what I'm learning and this is what I'm feeling. And this is what I am trying to actively do to remain patient during these trying times of exhaustion and stress and kind of discouragement when you feel like you're doing something wrong as a mom. So first of all, I had to let go the fact that she is not doing what she used to do. I had to completely let go and give up the idea that she is the baby she was 2 months ago, because she's not. She's crawling now. She wasn't crawling 2 months ago. She's doing these things now that she wasn't doing 2 months ago. And it's okay that her schedule's different and her schedule's changing. And as she continues to grow and continues to develop and come up with all of these new skills, things are going to change, things are going to get different, and her schedule is going to get different, and I need to be a little bit more flexible with her. So I am working hard on just letting go of this idea that I had of how I think that it should be and trying to hold her to that, because that, I have learned, is just not working. The next thing that I'm really trying hard to work on is learning what Denver is communicating to me. By now, I know when she's tired, and I know when she's hungry, and I know when she's mad, and I know when she's frustrated, and I need to start paying attention to her cues and her cries and focus on what she is trying to tell me. Because I can think, you're not hungry, you don't need to eat right now, but she could be going through a growth spurt. I could be decreasing in my supply and she's naturally trying to up my supply. She could be getting sick and naturally wanting to nurse to get those antibodies, and I don't know any of that. She could be teething and in pain and she wants comfort, and that's the only way that she can communicate that she wants comfort. So there's all of these things that could be playing a role that I don't necessarily know, and I need to focus on, are you doing this? Are you crying? Are you upset because something's wrong? Or are you frustrated? And I think that a lot of times the more frustrated that I get that she's upset or that she's waking up a lot, she starts to pick up on that and she senses my stress, and it makes her more worked up and it makes her wonder, well, now something's really wrong and my mom's not okay, so why should I be okay? And I think that I just need to focus on what is she communicating to me. And I think that it gets really hard when you are so exhausted that you're in this kind of mom fog and you're up all night and you're just like, I just need to sleep and I just need you to sleep, and it's so hard to focus on what they're communicating. But honesty hour over here, Denver was waking up like so much at night, and I was trying hard not to nurse her because my doctor says, you know, that they don't need to nurse and all these people are telling you that they're not hungry. And I ended up just giving in and letting her nurse, and the next day she was so sick, like came down with this horrible sickness. And then I thought to myself, maybe she was really nursing because, or wanting to nurse because she wanted to kind of get that extra protection. We don't know. Babies are very smart and they're very in tune with their bodies and their moms, and it's easy for them to communicate through crying. And I think that sometimes we just think, oh my gosh, crying, like I can't handle it, I can't handle it. And that's where like the lack of patience comes in. So if you think, instead of focusing on, oh my gosh, you're crying, focus on, well, why are you crying? What is wrong and how can I help? I think another thing that actually my husband brought up to me was the fact that when I'm at work and I do a good job, I get praised for it. I was lucky enough and blessed enough to have an amazing boss before I left my job to stay home with Denver, and she would tell me every single day, like, you did so good today, this is amazing, I love this is exactly what I was looking for, and it helped me feel really good about myself. Well, when I am home with Denver, she can't communicate those same praises to me. She can't tell me, you know, you did a great job today, mom, or things like that. And she won't, because she doesn't understand that. She doesn't comprehend that. But I think a lot of times as stay-at-home moms, we need that positive affirmation. We need to know that we're doing a good job. And when we're home and there's nobody there to tell us, it's so easy to fall into a trap of discouragement and feeling like you're not doing a good job. Especially when times are tough, when your baby's upset, fussy, hurting, and they're crying all the time. You just feel like a failure. And I think that this last couple weeks for me, I really felt like such a failure, and that's just not true at all. For me, I'm trying to look at ways that she does communicate to me that I'm doing a good job, ways that she does communicate to me that she's happy and she's pleased when I play games with her and she smiles and laughs. Those are ways that I know I'm doing a good job and I'm succeeding. And I think that is really important to just kind of change your perspective a little bit. Talking about changing in perspective, I want to touch on the fact that the better outlook you have, the better you will feel. If you go into the day thinking, I'm so tired, this is terrible, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm a failure, your day's gonna be pretty crappy. Like, excuse my language, it's gonna be crappy. And if you go into your day and you say, you know what, I didn't sleep, but that's okay because look, my baby's happy today, my baby's healthy, I can do this, I have the ability to be home today, I don't have to go anywhere, you know, I'm gonna put crock pot on so I don't have to cook dinner tonight. Like, look at the way that you are viewing your situation. Are you viewing it from a negative light, or are you viewing it from a positive light? Because that's gonna make all the difference in the world. Another thing that I want to touch on is asking for encouragement instead of asking for advice. Now, this one is a tricky one. It's a tough one. This is one that I've personally struggled with, especially in the last few weeks. When I feel like I'm losing control, I tend to reach out to people for help, which is great. And I think that we definitely need that. We need to rely on our village. But there comes a point when you're asking 10 different people for advice and you get 10 different answers that it just kind of overwhelms you. And that's the place that I was, where 10 different people were telling me to do 10 different things, and I didn't know what the right thing was. I didn't know what the right answer was. And I felt like, okay, I need to take a step back and I need to listen to my mommy instincts and focus on what's gonna be best for my baby. Something that works for my baby won't necessarily work for your baby, so you can't try to do it exactly like they did it, because babies are different. They have different personalities, and I think that that's huge in getting through trials and things. It's easy to say, you know, what did you do? I'll just try that. But you have to realize that sometimes you know in your heart what to do, and try to look within. And I know this is so hard when you're so tired, but try to look at your instincts. What is your gut telling you? What do you feel like is the right decision? And just do that. And instead of saying, what did you do in this situation? Say, how did you make it through this situation? ask for encouragement instead of asking for tips and advice and exactly what you should do. And the last thing that I want to touch on is asking for help. So different than asking for encouragement or advice, asking for help. When daddy gets home from work, you can say, you know, I need a little bit of help, like I'm struggling right now. And I think that it's important to take a moment and to allow yourself to have a breather. I don't personally like leaving my baby. I don't like leaving her for entertainment or to do fun things. I prefer to be with her. And when you're with somebody 24/7 who's constantly demanding of you, it can be really draining. So I think that allowing yourself to take a breather and not, sometimes you need a break, sometimes you need some mommy time, but sometimes you just need a breather. And that breather could be a shower. That breather could be taking a walk outside. That breather could be making dinner without somebody like on your back or, you know, like yelling at you. And I think that if you ask like for a little bit of help, or ask grandma to come over and hang out with the baby for a little bit while you do some things around the house, whatever works for you, whatever you feel like will allow you to just kind of decompress for a moment, take advantage of that and do those things. And that doesn't make you a bad mom. I think that for me personally, when I feel like I need a break, like, oh, I need a break, or I just want to leave her, I feel really guilty inside because I love her so much and she's not a burden to me. And sometimes I feel like when I think those things that it's translating to that she's a burden to me, and that's just not true. That's not the case. As moms, our mental health is really important, and sometimes we need a little bit of that breather. We need a little bit of space, and that's very, very healthy and nothing to be ashamed of. So the last thing that I want to say is that I know that this is really challenging. It is for me, and something that I tell myself is the days are long, but the years are short. If you look at the grand scheme of your entire life, the moment that you're going to be in this place of your life, in this season of your life, is so, so short. And the more that we focus on how hard it is, the less we'll be able to enjoy it. And I don't want to look back and regret not soaking up every ounce of this babyhood, every smell and snuggle that I can get my hands on. And sometimes you just have to do what works best for your baby and forget about what everybody else tells you, and just take in those moments. This is so short, and she's never going to be a baby again. She's never going to be that itty bitty newborn that would just lay on my chest. It's funny because I try to get her to just like snuggle and lay on my chest during the day, and she just doesn't want to. She's moving and grooving and playing, and she wants to go. And so those days are already over, and I miss them, and I don't want to miss this part either. So I know that it's hard, I know that it's tough, but just try to focus on how short this season of your life will be. It is a season, it's a tired season, but we're gonna make it through, and they will sleep eventually, and they will get there. It's just, they're going through so much right now, and it's gonna take some time. So I don't know if this video was helpful at all. It's nice for me to be able to give myself the reminder of being patient when it is trying and when it is difficult to be a mother and to take care of a baby, and for many of you to take care of multiple children. So give this video a thumbs up if you liked kind of what I was talking about here, and offer some of your encouragement down below for me or for other moms, or just ways that you got through this season of life. Thank you so much for sticking with me in this long, long rant of a video, and I will see you next week with more refreshing motherhood. Bye guys. Hi guys, welcome to a little behind the scenes, real life of refreshing motherhood. This is my baby Gil, that's my hubby. I was supposed to film a